a day later. I am more relaxed. Time to break it down. What is up, everybody? I am NerdRage36, and this is going to be a follow-up to my previous video where I reacted to the translations of the final chapter of Kingdom Hearts Key. More so, I'm going to break down that theory that I just so willy-nilly tossed out there in my reaction. So my theory was that the Master of Masters is the actual traitor, that he provoked the war between the foretellers for some greater purpose. Now, the reason I believe this is, well, I sort of explained it last time. There are various bits of dialogue where that basically indicates to the Master of Masters not only knowing this war was going to happen, but wanting this war to happen. What Nightmare Kirithy said, the final page of the Book of Prophecies, what Luxu said, all that stuff. And, well, here is a sort of breakdown of how I came to that conclusion. For one, it was a while before we got the guilt bangle, or as we should refer to it now, the sin bangle. And all the missions prior, we were safeguarding light fragments. We were hoarding the light, and as we learn in earlier games that take place later in the timeline, we find out that light and darkness, two sides of the same coin, one can't exist without the other, equilibrium. And only those who seek to abuse either side are truly evil. So in the present, we have Xehanort trying to abuse darkness to establish equilibrium. It could be that the foretellers of the past wanted to abuse light to maintain peace and equilibrium. But of course, abusing one side throws the other side off balance. Now, those missions in between when we started and when we got the guilt bangle, sin bangle, it's gonna get hard to try and refer to it as that from now on. But between when we started and when we got the sin bangle, it could have been a decent enough time for the Master to see what the foretellers were doing, realize what they were trying to do, and that it was wrong. He creates the sin bangle and gives it to our player character so that we could not only collect light, but collect darkness, constantly making the conflict, basically, it kept escalating, us versus the Heartless. Nothing was going to stop if we kept using this damn thing. And if it wasn't going to stop, and the suspicion between the foretellers was already there because the Master took the final page out of the book, gave it to Luxu, again, that also provoked the foretellers. So, escalating the conflict by giving us the guilt bangle, sin bangle, sorry, and also assigning Luxu the role of traitor, pushed the foretellers in the direction of revealing their extreme ideologies and basically allowing the distrust of each other to eventually break out into full-on conflict. Now, the reason I believe the Master went through with this is, again, the foretellers just didn't know. They all wanted to fight against the darkness, and in doing so, that could have ended the world on its own anyway. Throwing light and darkness off balance, hoarding the light, fighting against the darkness, would have doomed the world anyway. So what the Master did is created a scenario in which the foretellers would end the world in a different way, but in enough of a different way where one extreme ideology would guarantee survivors. That extreme ideology was Ava, who created the Dandelions, which we know are the people who awoke after the Keyblade War on the fragmented worlds and rebuilt. And what I believe is that the Master knew that if there were survivors that existed in the fragmented worlds, these fragmented worlds, being in a constant state of clashing light and darkness because of the intensity of the Keyblade War, that this state that the fragmented worlds are in could be the perfect state for people to understand the mistakes of the past, rediscover the balance, and correct the mistakes of the foretellers. This, of course, would be referring to Sora in the game. Could this be what the Master was doing the whole time? Again, I believe so. But then again, I'm just one person. I don't speak for Nomura. I don't speak for any of the other writers. I don't speak for the franchise as a whole. I'm just giving my piece on it. That's what I believe the Master was doing. That's what I believe was the reason for the Keyblade War, and what the whole intention of the rest of the series after this point that came earlier, that was the reason for all these adventures. To build up to rediscovering the balance and establishing a new era of peace. And again, that sort of makes sense with part of Sora's character arc. He is one of a member of a trio. There's always a trio. And Riku is another member of his trio who uses darkness. Kairi is the other member of his trio who is a princess of light. And Sora stands between them. So it could be that was the intention the whole time. Break the world, put them in a state where they could understand the duality of light and darkness, so that one person who stands smack dab in the middle can repair the damaged worlds and correct the mistakes and arrogance of the foretellers. Agree? Disagree? Got any expansions on my theory? Let me know in the comments section below. Though I will leave you with this. If that is the case, if that was the Master's intentions, and that was the purpose of the Keyblade War, then the one question remains. What happened to the X-Blade? I'm gonna leave you with I'm gonna leave you with that. Come back next time, and I will explain my 2 cents on that as well. Anyway, guys, that is it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe for more. Have an awesome day, and I will see you all next time.